Hi YouTube. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Derwent's 4 sketching pencils, which deals with the HB, 2B, 4B, 8B drawing pencils. Alright, well, time to take a look at the package as we always do. Up close, we can see it's from the UK. That's where Derwent is located. 4 sketching pencils. They're soft graphite pencils. And there they are. HB, 2B, 4B, 8B. Notice next to the AB it has a little paintbrush. That means it's one of those washable graphite where you can wet it. It's kind of like a graphite wash. Don't call it washable, I guess. It's a wash. It's kind of like watercolor graphite. And you can see even here through the packaging, it says dark wash 8B, in case you were always wondering what it meant on your pencil when it said wash. You'll see it has a little paintbrush on there. And the band is blue, whereas the others are white. Then on the back, find the language that pertains to you. And since they speak English in Great Britain, I will read from the GB here. Perfect for quick freestyle sketches and dramatic line and tone drawing. These 3 versatile degrees, HB, 2B, and 4B, can be mixed and blended together for maximum creativity, while the 8B water-soluble option allows interesting line and wash effects. Alright, and over here we can see that it is from the ACO UK Limited, Oxford House, Oxford Road, Aylesbury, Bucks. There's a lot of wording there. Okay, and made in the UK, barcode. For tips, hints, great ideas, visit www.pencils.co.uk. And that's it for the packaging. I'm going to open this up using the patented package opener from X-Acto. Make sure you don't slash your fingers off with this thing. These things are sharp. But so carefully, I'm going to just put that in here like so. And now, in case you're wondering, why do I go through the trouble rather than just ripping this package apart? And that's because I put it back in the packaging unless I plan on actually using it. That way it's a lot easier for me to just store it somewhere until some future time. And we'll see if I plan on using these at all personally, because I have not reviewed these yet. I have no idea whether I'm going to like them. If you've watched all my videos, or at least the very first 2 that I've ever done, I think it's been 1.5 years now since I did my first video. I can't remember. It started with these Derwent Onyx pencils, which I'm not a big fan of, and you can watch the video to find out why. So I'm going to reserve judgment on these Derwent pencils for this review. Okay, we'll go ahead and open this up, and you can see that it's real easy just to slide everything out. And we could just toss the packaging for now. Now for the close-up. Let me just go ahead and grab one of them. They all look the same pretty much. But you can see here, it's kind of a matted black paint job. It says England on there, Derwent Sketching. This one's the 4B. Has the kind of grayish looking stripe that goes around it like that. And then you have this kind of black painted, and this is a glossy black painted cap end onto it, where the rest of it is all matted black. Seems to be pretty standard because like this Onyx pencil that I just showed you a moment ago, it has kind of a green band on it, has the black glossy cap on the end, has the matted black paint job, has the white lettering. So all these are pretty much must be Derwent standard kind of coating there. And it's a round pencil, it's not hex, so it's going to roll off your desk if your desk is on a slant. Keep that in mind. And because these are soft pencils, you can see that they have exceptionally thick cores to them, and that's to be expected from a soft pencil. The softer they are, the more easier they are to snap on pressure, so you need a thicker core. So it's not like you're getting more for the buck, it's just a matter of necessity. All right, so I'm not liking the blunt tips here for drawing, and so I'm going to sharpen these pencils so they have more of a point. In this case, I think I'll just use the Mitsubishi sharpener that I happen to have nearby to give myself a nice point. Hopefully I don't eat up the whole pencil being so soft. Well, boy, that's nasty looking. I did kind of sharpen a lot of that pencil off. If you want to take a look here, look at that. I ate up most of that pencil. So let's see. I think I'm going to forego this sharpener. It didn't know when to stop sharpening up. Let me grab a different one. Alright, let's use this triple sharpener here for the rest of these because I don't want to eat up all my pencils so quickly. And let's see, we're going to go with, let's just go with normal pencil sharpening here. There we go, that's much better. And you can see I saved myself from losing a lot of lead on that one. That was kind of a mistake, sharpening it with that other sharpener for this particular pencil, because that thing just was going to keep on going until that thing slides all the way in. The wood here seems to be kind of, a little tough. It's kind of like you can see it just kind of the sharpener is just digging into the wood a little bit. There, you can see that. It's not bad, but it's not that smooth feel. It's kind of like, okay, let's arm wrestle. All right. And the last one here, and this is the dark wash, which we'll get some water and try it out. Ooh, whoops, I used the wrong sharpener. Okay, well anyway, let me give it a point. Alright, that's a real nasty little point there. I hate to be on the wrong end of that little sucker. Ooh, boy, there we go. Look at, okay. All right, let's clean up. All right, so all 4 pencils are now sharpened. Wow. I certainly did a number on that one, didn't I? Which one was that? That was the 4B. So anyway, we have the 2B, and then we have the HB, and then we have my little shorty 4B now, and the 8B. So bring over some drawing paper here. And since these are drawing pencils, I'm not going to write. I'm going to, I guess I'm going to draw something, right? No, I'm gonna shade a little bit here, just see how this is here. So this here is the HB pencil. Let's see how nicely this thing shades. Smooth. And it feels like quality. Okay. All right, and that's the HB. Now the 2B. And it goes on smooth. Okay, that's 2B. Now the little shorty 4B here. Wish I didn't sharpen it down so much. Kind of was a waste, but oh well. I do it for you guys. Okay, that's a 4B. And then the 8B, which is the wash. Huh. Okay, well, this is interesting. All right, 8B. 8B wash. All right, guys. Take a look at that. I'll even put it up this way. HB, 2B, 4B, and then 8B. The 8B wash pencil is kind of a wash, all right. It's really light. So it doesn't act like a normal 8B pencil. 4B is definitely darker, but not by a big margin. I mean, oops, hit the camera there. It's darker, but it's like, this is not a big jump here. This is, I don't know, look for yourself there. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, for example, I'll just bring out my regular drawing pencils here. Kind of curious. Like here's an HB pencil. This one's a Mitsubishi HB pencil, for example. And let's just take a look at what we have here. Okay. So. Okay, there's that one. And then we'll take a 2B pencil here. Oh yeah, that's nice. I love this 2B pencil. Mitsubishi. Well, there's the 2B. I like how rich that looks for a 2B. Now the 4B. 4B right there. Okay. All right, well, there's the 4B. Now, this is not a wash. This 8B is not a wash. Okay, this is a regular 8B pencil. This one, apparently, I'm going to have to add water to it to give me an 8B type of color. But I'm just going to use a normal 8B just so you can see what a normal, regular, non-wash 8B would look like. Okay, and that, of course, would be a normal 8B right there. But we're not dealing with a normal 8B here with the Derwent. We're dealing with a wash. So I have to go get me some water, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have me this little Q-tip here. The bud is all soaked with water. Let's see what we're talking about here. If I add some water, what are we dealing with here? Well, it don't look like it's getting darker. Alright, well, here's my wash again. I'm going to write over the wet paper, I guess. Alright, so I got me a little bowl of water here that I'll just dip that pencil in. And let's see what we get here. I'll dip it a lot if I'm going to use this thing. Fades out too fast if I don't. Oh boy. It can get really dark if you do it that way, but the problem is you got to keep dipping it. Okay, anyway, let me just back off here real quick. As far as these other pencils are concerned, the HB, 2B, 4B, take a look at that and compare it to the one that's just below. The gradient from HB to 4B isn't that much. They're all soft, they're nice. There's nothing wrong with the pencils themselves. They feel just fine, they go on just fine. But I don't have much of a change from here to here. Is very gradual, you know. I mean, if you take a look, it's not that big of a difference between an HB and a 4B here. The transition, I should say, is just not that big. Where here you can see you have quite a bit of transition, which is what I want with my drawing pencils. If I'm going to go from HB to 2B to 4B, I want to see transition. But, you know, they're fine. For example, I mean, the 2B pencil looks just like a 2B pencil, which that's pretty good. HB's a little bit on the dark side here, too close to the 2B to look like it's much difference compared to just using like my regular drawing pencils going from HB to 2B. I have a really nice jump in tone. And the 4B pencil is a little on the lighter side compared to the 4B that I have with my drawing pencils. It would have been nicer if this 4B had a bigger step up from 2B as my drawing pencils do. The 8B, clearly on the drawing pencils, is really super dark, which is awesome. And compared to the 8B of this pencil when dry, where is it at? Right here, dry, where there's obviously no comparison. The dry goes on really light. It's almost as if there's just nothing, there's still a little water on it. That's why you could even see it, because if there was no water on this thing, then you would not be able to see that. And you can see that because it's wet, my graphite is wet, it's coming off in these pieces now as I'm just shading. Okay, now what I've learned during my little intermission, which due to the magic of videography didn't seem like any time at all for you, is that you don't dip your your dark wash pencil here in the water itself. And what I noticed is you're just going to end up getting your wood all soaked and your graphite gets a little funky. Basically, like I showed you here, it's not what you want. Now, it's okay to use a good bond paper, a good drawing paper. You don't want anything that's too thin, of course. But what we're going to do is you apply, you draw with your wash pencil here, and then get yourself a, like a little paintbrush, or better yet, they sell this little plastic thing with a brush on the end that holds water, which is even better to have. And one of these days maybe I'll pick one up. That way you don't have to keep dipping all the time, and if you're traveling, it's even better to have. I'll show you a picture of it right there. There you go. And you can just keep, painting with that water, and it will allow you not to have to keep dipping. What I'm going to draw here, for example, I'm just going to try to draw a sphere without actually using something to make sure that I'm doing this as perfectly round, but hopefully it'll be close enough to demonstrate what I'm wanting to show here. Now hopefully you can see this on the camera. If not, it will show up eventually as I start to use the water. But clearly the 8B rating on this pencil does not appear to have anything to do with how this pencil draws without water. It's definitely too light to be an 8B, a real 8B, in its dry state. So it really needs to be in a wet state. Okay, and with spheres, normally you try to start the bottom off as dark as possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get that going here. But I'm going to use the water for the most part to give me the gradation from dark to light. If you ever drawn a sphere before where you try to do it in 3D, then you know what I'm talking about, where you start from dark and then you work your way up. You got to go lighter and lighter and lighter. Now, I didn't intend this video to be a drawing lesson, but because it is a review of this pencil here, or pencils, but I've already done the other ones and they don't use water, so I'm not gonna do a demonstration with it. But consider this kind of a bonus here, I guess, for this review. Okay. Throat got a little dry there. I apologize for that. Alright, well, let's see what this water will do for us here. I'm going to scan it, zoom in a little bit there so you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to start here in this dark area here. Give it a little a little wash. Now, from what I've learned about these wash pencils to do this video is that you then should be able to, you know, blend it out and move it out here, for example, out in this lighter area, and I watched videos where they were using the General's pencil, wash pencil, and it seemed to go on a lot darker than this one, and it looked really nice how the artist was able to bring out the graphite from the dark area out into the light area. I'm not finding it to be the case with this pencil here, though. It's not that fun to work with for me. I'm finding this a somewhat frustrating that it's not producing as dark as I would like, and I shouldn't have to come Well, it's definitely not going to give me much to work with here to move out into this lighter area here. It's like I'm going to have to come in here and oh, this is kind of weird. It's very light. It's like it's a hard pencil. It's not very smooth. It's not very like not giving me much material in order to use the water on. I mean, I could use more graphite to do this with. All right, you know, I gotta be honest, that's what, you know, these videos are for. I'm just not impressed with these Derwent pencils. They always give me trouble. This dark wash is not that dark of a wash. Ugh. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? I mean, I gotta press really hard just to get any real graphite out of an 8B. But it's just, come on, give me something to paint with here, will you? I would imagine the General's wash pencils are a whole lot better. Based on that video I was watching, it just seemed like, you know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to, on a piece of paper somewhere, just draw as hard as you can. Just, you know, give it everything you got there, man. All right, and then take your water, kind of use it as a watercolor little tray there so that you can, you know, just take it off of here and put it on your drawing rather than wetting your drawing. But the videos I was watching is that, you know, they were just able to do it right on the drawing itself rather than having to make themselves a little paint tray thing here just to get it going. And I mean, I thought the work was pretty good, and the instructions were so simple, and yet you try to do it yourself with this pencil,
And I find this to be very frustrating. Now, of course, some of you may have a different opinion, and I welcome that. You can definitely share that in the description below, as I've mentioned already. And I always encourage discourse, conversation on the subject. But all right, well, that's my opinion. I don't like it. I'm throwing it in the trash. And I apologize to anybody who's offended by the fact that I just snapped that 8B. But hey, it is what it is. That's how I feel. Anyway, these 3 pencils I'll use in my drawing. This wash one, nope, not anymore. It's out of here. And I'll check out some other wash pencils to see if I have the same kind of issues or if they work just like I've seen it work with others.
A few moments later.
Hi YouTube. This is some bonus material that I thought I'd add to the end of my video on the Derwent sketching pencils. These little puppies right here. And the reason why is I started to feel real bad that, I broke that little puppy and I threw it in the trash. Was I being too harsh on the folks at Derwent for making this 8B dark wash pencil? And was I just not using it right? I mean, I want to be really thorough in these reviews that I do. And so what I decided to do is I pulled it back out of the trash can. And I thought, you know what? Let me compare it to some wash pencils that I believe I have, and I did find some in my pencil stash, and it came from this Prismacolor Premier kit of 18 pencils, and you'll see right here it says 3 of them are water soluble graphite pencils. And so I went and I grabbed those, and they're right here, and they come in 2B, which is, it says it's light. And then it has this medium 4B. And then lo and behold, it also has a dark 8B, which should be a 1-to-1 comparison to this dark wash AB from Derwent. So let's just kind of compare, because maybe I'm just a little goofy when it comes to these water soluble pencils. So again, I'm going to lay down the Derwent 8B. Dry, of course. That's how you start. And I'm going to put down as much as I can here to be as generous as I can for this Derwent, but I'm not going to like muscle it into the paper. I just think that's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do it. I'm holding the pencil in the end, but I am giving it enough pressure, more than I would like to normally give, because it just seems to come on real light, and I find it very difficult to see how this can be dark when this pencil says it's dark. It's the way it came. All right. So there we go. There's the Derwent 8B. It's still kind of brittle from when I wet it, but there we go. That's the Derwent 8B. Let me zoom in a little bit for you there so you can see that better. Okay. Now, here's a Prismacolor Dark 8B. This is the one that came out of that Prismacolor. All right, let's see if they come out the same. If they're the same, well then, I'll eat crow, or preferably chicken flavored crow. But anyway, here is the Prismacolor water soluble. Ooh. Oh boy. Soft, dark, and totally 8B-ish.
I don't think I was hallucinating, people. I really don't. I don't understand why the folks at Derwent can't figure out what dark is. And this is really upsetting to me. Yeah, I'm going to be known on the internet as the anti-Derwent pencil guy, because this is now the second video that I have done a review of Derwent pencils, at least second or third, I can't remember. You can go and count them. But look at this. I mean, come on. Am I hallucinating here? I mean, really? What can I do to make this any darker? And yet here I'm just lightly, look at that. That's the 8B. And here, well, let's go ahead and do the 4B. Okay, there's the 4B. And then there's the 2B. Even the 2B is darker than that 8B from Derwent. Well, there you go. 8B, 4B, 2B. So 8B, 4B, 2B. See for yourself, folks. I'm not going crazy. I was right. This ain't very good. Now, where's that paintbrush? I'm gonna take that paintbrush now, add a little water. Okay, there you go. Paintbrush here, add a little water. Paintbrush, add a little water. And to the 2B. Hello. Look at that, folks. Look at that. Look at that. You know, I may not be an expert on graphite washes, but come on, are you kidding me? Look at, those are excellent. I could definitely watercolor with that. That I can't do anything with. That is junk. I'm sorry, it's junk. I can't recommend that. That's 8B? Are you kidding me? Look at this, is cool. These Prismacolor washes are awesome. I mean, I'm not a real big graphite wash kind of guy, but man, I mean, I could do stuff with this if I really want to get into it. Look, it goes on nice and dark. Just, I mean, I don't even have to add water if I don't want to. I could use this as a regular 8B pencil. Just, you know, do that little experiment or demo that I was trying to do with the Derwent. Yeah, I'll do this with the Prismacolor. But I think I've made my case. I think I've given a fair review. You know, what can I say? I'm sorry I have to be harsh on the folks on Derwent, but you know, they can certainly contact me and tell me what's up, and be nice if they would just reimburse me for those darn Onyx pencils I hate so much. Spent $70-something for a canister of pencils. You know, these, and you know, they're not as dark as a 9B as they say they are, unless you want to press into your paper. You can see my video on that. I don't think they'll be asking me to do any sponsorships for them, because I certainly am not enamored by their pencils. But look how dark that came out with the 8B. Then I want to come in here and maybe use my 4B and start getting that transition lighter. I want to spend a lot of time on this, but just want to give you a little bit of a demonstration here since I already did that other one. Alright, we'll just do that, and then I'll just use this 2B here. And I like also that the paint job gets lighter and lighter too. Much like the folks who do the, let's name that pencil. It's very popular from the Swiss. And they have the paint job of their pencils get lighter as the tone of the pencil is lighter. CanDoIt or something like that. I'm not sure if I pronounced that. I know I'm not pronouncing it right. But anyway, all right. There we go, and I could probably just do some blending here with my finger, and then get the paintbrush. Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. I like this. See, now that's fun. Now it's fun. Okay, it wasn't fun before with that Derwent, but now it's fun. And art has to be fun. Continue with the dark graphite here and paint it in where I can. And you know, I'd probably have to do some practicing with this medium because up until today I never actually did this before. Okay, so I'm going to get into the lighter area here and see if I can blend it in. Get that gradual tone going there from dark to light. Yeah, see, I can actually see how this would work. These water-soluble pencils. Probably better for like sceneries and stuff. It'd be really good, you know, water and buildings and pastures and trees and all that other stuff. You know, maybe not so much drawing spheres like I am now, but I'm just doing a really quick here. You know. And now I'm in the lighter area. Running out of graphite to paint with, but it's not a perfect sphere, but hopefully you can see what you can do with this. I'm going into an area now that doesn't have actually any, and I'm just kind of moving some of the graphite out from the dark into the light, which was what I wanted to do with this, and just kind of bring it out. I might have to add some more pencil, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to call this thing done the way it is, and just, well, there you go. That's just a real quickie on these Prismacolors. But hey, that's awesome. All right, so this is cool. This is not cool. All right, well, that's the bonus part, guys, for this review of the Derwent 4 sketching pencils. These are usable, though I don't like the transition. I think the HB should be a little bit lighter and the 4B a little darker. Just more of a transition, but they're soft, they work, you can draw with them, so there's nothing wrong with them. The wash pencil, the 8B wash pencil, I give it a total thumbs down. And if I could break it again there, double break. Sorry, Derwent, but that is the worst thing I've ever seen as far as these wash. And of course, this is not a Prismacolor review, but these are pretty darn good. They came in that kit, the Prismacolor Premier Kit. You can check out my video on that. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.